Ladies and gentlemen, I am Thomas Hendrickx, and welcome back in to Time Runs Out with our main event, Jackson Hendrix versus King Krunch for the WTW Championship. Hendrix, Krunch, the longest standing rivalry in WTW history, the first two original members of the WTW roster all the way back in 2015, and for the first time in 7 years, these two men meet one-on-one again. King Krunch, Jackson Hendrix, for the most prestigious prize in this industry, the WTW Championship, and it is on here at Time Runs Out. Last time we came to you at Time Runs Out, Relic defeated Juggernaut to become the next-gen champion, and Juggernaut seemingly followed Relic out. But will Hendrix have the same fate as Relic? Will we crown a new WTW champion tonight? And that is ultimately going to be the question that we're going to have to answer. But here's the thing, Jackson Hendrix, if there's been one obstacle in his career throughout all of his accomplishments, the main eventing WTW's biggest shows, some of the biggest moments, has been WTW champion. But the biggest obstacle in his career has always been King Krunch, defeating King Krunch. This has been a one-sided rivalry, and will Hendrix be able to turn the tide tonight, or will Krunch continue his dominance in this rivalry? That's the question that's going to have to be answered in tonight's main event. King Krunch, Jackson Hendrix, time runs out. It doesn't get bigger than this. Time runs out, kicks off the biggest year, the time of the year for WTW as we build towards our WrestleMania, our Super Bowl. WTW Doomsday coming later this fall. But before we look forward to that, we have a massive main event. The forever, the cocky, the arrogant King Krunch, the WTW champion. And here we go. Referee Cade Hawk getting ready. Krunch looking at that belt. Will that be perhaps the last time he looks at it as champion, or will he walk out still with the gold tonight? Neither of these men are strangers to one another, and that we know. These two men have faced each other arguably more than any other two people have faced each other in WTW history. But Krunch always seems to have Hendrix's number. Will tonight be the turning point? King Krunch won the WTW Championship at Game Over from Jackson Hendrix's best friend, Chase Chambers. When Jackson Hendrix tried to stop Chase Chambers from going too far to retain the title, to stop Chase Chambers from going down the road Hendrix did all those years ago, and in doing so, in preventing Chase to doing the right thing, it allowed Hendrix's greatest rival, his biggest career obstacle, King Krunch, to walk out with the gold. And here we go. These two men just staring off. You can feel the intensity. Collar elbow tie up. Hendrix, Krunch drilling Hendrix back into the corner. Referee Cade Hawk counting. Krunch taking the edge early, drilling Hendrix into the corner. And look at that, the arrogance on full display. Krunch saying, hey, look, this is just like old times. I'm going to beat you just like old times. That pat on Hendrix showed the confidence of Krunch. Hendrix, Krunch once again circling the ring. Neither men getting too overzealous, dipping their feet in the water. These two men know this is likely going to go the distance. These two men know each other well. Collar elbow tie up. Hendrix wrenching that collar elbow, and now it's Hendrix drilling Krunch into the corner. Now Cade Hawk's on the count for Hendrix. Krunch whining as always, saying, Cade Hawk, hey, get him off me, despite the fact that Krunch just did the same thing to Hendrix, but that time Hendrix getting the better of the exchange with King Krunch. We know the technical prowess of Jackson Hendrix. King Krunch knows the technical prowess of Jackson Hendrix, but this match, one of these men is going to have to set momentum early. Collar elbow tie up again, side headlock control there by Jackson Hendrix as he's wrenching the side headlock, go around in a hammer lock. What a combination there by Hendrix as he's wrenching that hammerlock on Krunch. You see Krunch holding that shoulder. Hendrix has that hammerlock deep, tight, and up far up on Krunch's back. Krunch countering with a hammerlock of his own. And now it's Hendrix holding that shoulder and in pain. Hendrix holding that shoulder, reaching around, hooking Krunch's arm, going underneath the back and back into his own hammerlock. These two men exchanging holds here. We know the technical prowess of both men, and they're showing in here. Krunch wrenching that shoulder, Hendrix wrenching that hammerlock. Krunch breaking it into a side headlock control of his own. Krunch wrenching that side headlock of Jackson Hendrix. These two men's technical ability on full display here early on. Time runs out. Back into the ropes. Hendrix pushing him in. And a step up in Sagiri. Dropping King Krunch. You see the speed and the explosiveness of Jackson Hendrix on display early there with that step up in Sagiri. Krunch getting a breather, getting out of wayside. Krunch realizing, hey, maybe this isn't the same Jackson Hendrix I dealt with all those years ago. Maybe this is a changed man. Hendrix said, hey, I'm not going to make a promise that I can beat King Krunch. I know I haven't been able to in the past, but I'm going to do everything I can. Hendrix wants to beat this man so much because Hendrix went down that dark path due to his inability to defeat King Krunch. And Hendrix is saying, hey, if I can finally beat this guy that sent me down the path that I went on all those years ago, that I've spent regretting all those years, maybe, just maybe, I can finally let the old Jackson Hendrix go.
Keep him back.
Krunch saying, keep him back. You can tell maybe the nerves setting in for Krunch after Hendrix hit that explosive step up in Sagiri. Krunch got out of wayside, and he has spent plenty of time getting back into the ring, and these two men circling each other again. Hendrix, Krunch. Again, these two men dipping their feet into the water, just trying to establish something, trying to feel each other out, see how they might have changed in the last 8 years. Hendrix wrenching the wrist, going underneath and really wrenching that arm of Krunch, and into a wrist lock. You see that? You see how tight that wrist lock is. Hendrix wrenching that wrist lock. Krunch holding it. Krunch in pain. Krunch trying to counter into a wrist lock of his own on Hendrix. Now it's Krunch with the wrist lock. Krunch with the wrist control on Jackson Hendrix. Wrenching that wrist. Hendrix dropping to his knees to the pain, trying to fight out of it, trying to break the grip. Big elbow, big forearm strike by Hendrix. And Krunch once again wrenching the hold. Krunch maybe holding it too long, though. Roll through, kick up onto the feet. Working the arm again and back into side headlock control by Jackson Hendrix. Hendrix working it. Headlock takeover by Jackson Hendrix as he's working this hold, keeping King Krunch grounded. We know the power of King Krunch. We know the dominance of King Krunch. We know when he establishes the rhythm of how dangerous he can be, and Hendrix knows that too. And Hendrix is trying to use what he believes is superior technical prowess. Krunch into the cover, kicking out at two. Hendrix is trying to use his prowess, his grappling ability to keep King Krunch grounded. Hey, keep the pace, this match on my pace, on my terms, and that's exactly what he's trying to do by keeping King Krunch grounded here. And he's achieving that so far as he's wrenching the hold. Krunch trying to fight out of it, trying to push the head out, but Hendrix has this headlock and firm control as he is grounding King Krunch. Krunch trying to wrap around Hendrix, trying to roll up to his feet here. Both of these men trying to get up to their feet. Hendrix maintaining side headlock control on King Krunch, wrenching that side headlock. Hendrix holding him there. Hendrix dictating the pace of this contest early. Back into the ropes. Krunch pushing him. Shoulder block. Did you see the way Hendrix bounced off the mat? Krunch trying to rebound Hendrix with a hip toss of his own. Krunch trying to come back off the ropes, hip toss, and now an arm trap neck breaker. Hendrix establishing some control early on in this contest to kick out at two. Krunch always had Hendrix's number, but Hendrix getting into the driver's seat early, and we've seen why Jackson Hendrix is as talented as he is, why the fans love Jackson Hendrix as much as he is. That explosive, that highly technical style, and it's on full display here against King Krunch. Hendrix going to the corner, getting himself a breather, and awaiting Krunch. Hendrix is working this match on his timing, going for it. Big forearm smash into the corner by King Krunch. Going under. Could he be going for that back suplex? Looked it up. Krunch stomping on the foot of Jackson Hendrix. Irish curse backbreaker from the King. Let's take a look at how this contest has gone so far. Hendrix pops that arm trap neck breaker. Krunch counters back with that Irish curse backbreaker. And maybe that was a turning point Krunch needed. Krunch was able to counter Hendrix's back suplex attempt into that Irish curse backbreaker. And now Krunch, maybe that was the turning of the tides that he needed, and he's stomping that back that he just hit for Hendrix. We know how much of Krunch's offense is geared towards that back. So many suplexes, slams, backbreakers, and Krunch is stomping. I talked about Hendrix dictating the pace, and now this is exactly where Krunch wants it. Krunch wants to sit there and stomp Hendrix, abuse Hendrix, dictate the pace as Krunch is getting him back up to his feet here. Krunch, what could he be going for? Standing vertical suplex. Roll through. Krunch maybe going for this trio, this Krunch suplex special that we've seen him hit time and time again. Hitting step 2 of that suplex special with a fisherman suplex. Can he finish the trifecta with a German suplex? And he does it! A massive German suplex by the King, by the WTW Champion. Krunch in control, following that backbreaker. Cover. 1, 2. Resilient Hendrix kicking out at a 2 count there, following that Krunch suplex special. But Krunch able to have Hendrix where he wants him now.
Sure that's 2?
Krunch pushing back on referee's decision, saying, sure that was 2. Are you sure that was 2? It was 2. I can guarantee that. But Krunch again going back to work on the back of Hendrix. Again, so much of Krunch's offense is based around that back. If he can wear down that back of Hendrix, he can get Hendrix in more advantageous positions to hit his offense. And a big super kick and a massive DDT. That patented combination, classic Krunch here that he hit on Hendrix. Krunch in full control so far. Hendrix got out to the driver's seat earlier, but Krunch is able to turn the tide. But another 2 count here for Krunch. Another 2 count here for the King, for the WTW champion, maybe the most accomplished man in WTW history, longest reigning WTW champion in original WTW. Again, defeated Chase Chambers. These two, what many would call the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Texas, the Oklahoma, the Cena, the Orton of WTW. Krunch with another German suplex, and this is the latest installment in the Krunch-Hendrix rivalry as Krunch is in firm control here. Hendrix holding that neck, holding that back. Krunch has been taking him to work and now wrenching the hold. This is Krunch's pace. This is Krunch's match. And Hendrix is going to have to find a way to rebound here as he is wrenching that chin lock here. Krunch wearing him down, dictating the pace. Krunch battering the back of Hendrix once again. Krunch in firm control. Hendrix has got to find something here because Krunch is dominant here at Time Runs Out so far. Again, Hendrix got to the edge early. Krunch able to counter that back suplex with the Irish Curse backbreaker, and since then, this has been Krunch's match. Once again, another German suplex. This is not just about inflicting pain on your opponent. This is about Krunch sending a message saying, I'm dominant, I'm the king. Krunch saying, how you feeling, putting his foot on the chest. Hendrix once again surviving for a 2 count, but he is in serious trouble here at Time Runs Out. Serious, serious trouble. Krunch.
You had what it took this time, didn't you?
Krunch saying, you thought you had what it took, but Krunch is dominant now. Krunch is sending a message saying, hey, I'm still better than you. This is still the same rivalry that we've had. The question is, though, is it massive backbreaker? And unfortunately for Hendrix, so far, it is looking like it has been the same type of rivalry that it was in original WTW. Krunch following it up with a senton. Ever since that Irish Curse backbreaker, King Krunch is wrestling almost a perfect contest here. Cover, 1, 2. Hendrix once again surviving for the 2 count. You see the frustration sitting in here for Krunch. Krunch has hit German suplex after German suplex. Hit that Krunch suplex special. Hit both of his variations of the backbreaker. Hit his senton. Hit his super kick. Hit his DDT. Krunch is laying in the offense. Hendrix staying resilient, but Krunch once again going to work. See, Hendrix is staying resilient, but the question I have is how long can he maintain this resilience if he cannot find a way to get back in control? Hendrix getting back up to his feet, and yet again, another German suplex by the King. Another German suplex by the King. This might be the most dominant King Krunch performance we've seen so far, and Hendrix once again kicking out at 2. The heart and the resilience of Jackson Hendrix cannot be questioned. However, what can be questioned is will he be able to find his way in the driver's seat? And like I said earlier, Krunch won the WTW Championship against Hendrix's best friend Chase Chambers, who we have not seen since the loss at Game Over. Hendrix tried to stop Chambers from going down that road of darkness, going down that road, preventing him from making the same mistakes that Hendrix himself did all those years ago, and in turn for Hendrix doing the right thing. His biggest rival rocks away with the thing that's most important to him, that WTW title, and he's in full control here. Krunch is with a massive light noise, once again targeting the back. You see the pain of Hendrix. He's holding the midsection. He's holding the back. He's holding the neck. A full body beat down by King Krunch. How much can Hendrix take? What a picture-perfect match. And if there's any time of the year for somebody...
You think he has what it takes to beat me?
So pompous. So pompous. I try to remain objective as your guys' play-by-play commentator, but man, it's so hard. But Krunch hitting a beautiful neck breaker. You see the face of Jackson Hendrix. You see the grit, the pain. Hendrix is holding that back. You hear the groans. Krunch once again going to the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Jackson Hendrix.
2.
Another 2 count for Krunch, but he's dominant. He is dominant here at Time Runs Out, and there's no better time. This is the metaphorical playoff season for WTW as we could head to our Super Bowl. Doomsday, the biggest time of the year for WTW, but Krunch wrenching the back once again, throwing those forearm strikes. You see the pain on Jackson Hendrix's face. Krunch once again wrenching those forearms into Hendrix's neck. Hendrix saying, come on, not stopping, and another chop. A chop to the chest. Hendrix trying to retreat. Krunch beating up that back. Krunch just falling into the corner and maintaining the beating with another forearm smash strike. Krunch going for it. Irish whip. Hendrix off the turnbuckle. Sling blade! Sling blade! Maybe this is the opening Hendrix needs. Maybe this is the opening Hendrix needs after this beating. Love for a step up into Gary. Krunch once again finding a way to duck. Once again getting him back up for another German suplex. Did you see the way Hendrix's back and neck bounced off the canvas? I thought that could have been an opening there, and it wasn't. Krunch was able to counter that step up into Gary. Hendrix, nothing sustainable there. The only consistency Hendrix has been able to find in this match is kicking out at 2. But that's not going to be good enough if he wants to change the tide of this rivalry, if he wants to finally overcome the obstacle, the thorn that's been in his side. But you see the fatigue of Krunch setting in as Kate Hawk ensures us to count. Krunch has had his foot so much on the gas so far in this match because of the fact that he's been trying to put Hendrix away. He's tried to put Hendrix away, and he's maintained such a pace here with move after move after move after move after move, and you have to think that the pace that Krunch has had to maintain is starting to set in. Krunch back up to his feet, but you could tell a little fatigue sitting in here for Krunch, as that pace might be hard to maintain. But how much more can Hendrix take as Krunch is getting him back up to his feet here again? Krunch maybe going for that Prince Killer maneuver. Hendrix able to wiggle out, spinning back kick to the midsection, overhead Pele kick into the corner. Hendrix trying to finally find an opening. Bicycle knee, flush to the chin of Krunch, going up, lugging him up, fireman's carry, Yoshi-Garoshi, that patented Hendrix combination. Hendrix going for a pin tipped up his own. Krunch with a kick out at 2. Krunch with a kick out at 2, and you saw this. Krunch has been dominant with German suplex after German suplex after German suplex, but Hendrix able to rebound. Bicycle knee strike, Yoshi-Garoshi. Will this be the opening that Hendrix has needed to find all match, all night? This has been the opening Hendrix needs. Come on, Hendrix, come on. Forearm smash, dropping Krunch. Hendrix finding it, Hendrix finding that grit. Another forearm smash. Getting Krunch up to his feet, Irish whip. Krunch is countering with an Irish whip of his own. Clothesline attempt. Hendrix ducks. Hendrix ducks. Sling blade. Sling blade. Hendrix is on fire. Clothesline attempt again. Hendrix ducks. Blue Thunder Bomb. 1, 2. Krunch survives.
2.
Hendrix caught wind. The fire of Jackson Hendrix in full display. Forearm smash. Forearm smash. Sling blade. Blue Thunder Bomb.
8 years I've waited for this. It's over.
Hendrix saying 8 years. I've waited for this. It's over. As he's going to attempt to lug him up, I believe, for the detonation kick. Hendrix has him up. Fireman's carry position. Detonation kick. The tides turn. Hendrix defeats Krunch. Finally. 1, 2. No. Good God.
2.
The King survives, and the shock, the look on the face of Hendrix says it all. Stunned. Hendrix is stunned. I thought he had it. He found that second wind. He put his foot all the way to the gas, hitting all of that patented offense, the Yoshi-Garoshi, the Blue Thunder Bomb, the Sling Blade, and the detonation kick. You heard Hendrix say there, I thought that was it. I thought that was it, too. But it wasn't. Hendrix maybe going for another detonation kick. Will the second time be the charm? Krunch wiggling out of it. German suplex once again. German suplex. Once again, and Krunch lugging it up. Maybe Krunch is looking for his best shot, his home run strike. Prince Killer, and that will do it. Krunch is going to defeat Hendrix once again. This rivalry has not changed one dip, and no! Hendrix survives, and you see the panic, the shock of Krunch. The same look we saw from Hendrix. Both these men wondering, what is it going to take? Took his best shot. Hendrix took Krunch's best shot. Krunch took Hendrix's best shot. What is it going to take? These two men laying it all out on the line for this rivalry, for this company. You know, out of all the things, all the people that have come and gone in this company, these two have been the two that have stayed here. And they're putting it all on the line here. Time runs out. That's what this rivalry means. That's what this WTW Championship means. That's what this time of year as we head to Doomsday means. And I think the person that hits the next big shot is going to win this match. And these two men exchanging blows, the fatigue setting in. What a war this has been between King Krunch and Jackson Hendrix. You hear the fatigue, you hear the gas, and these two men exchanging blows. Hendrix able to drop Krunch with that big forearm smash. These two men exchanging with a big elbow clubbing blow, straight to the back, and these two men lugging it out, exchanging blows, giving everything they have as both men drop. These two men, one of them just trying to get back in the driver's seat. They've hit each other with everything they got. Forearm smash by Krunch. Forearm smash by Krunch. Maybe this is the opening. Krunch raining in those forearm strikes. Hendrix pops him enziguri out of nowhere, dropping the king. Dropping the king. What is Hendrix lining up? Off the ropes. Off the ropes again. Big bicycle knee strike. Flush on the chin. Flush on the chin by Hendrix to Krunch with that bicycle knee strike, and Hendrix saying it's over. He is once again going for that detonation kick. Once again, and if he hits it, the reign of Krunch is over. He's lugging him up, maybe going for that detonation kick. Krunch able to wiggle out of it. Big wiggle out of it. Roll through. Krunch rolling through. In the Krunch face. The Krunch face. Krunch has Hendrix locked into the Krunch face. Will this be Hendrix's last gasp? Will his time run out here at Time Runs Out? Krunch is wrenching in that Krunch face. How much more can Hendrix take? You see the look of Jackson Hendrix. Is he fading? Is he fading? Krunch begging Hendrix to tap out. Hendrix surviving. Barely. But is he fading? Is he fading? K-Dog going to check it. Hendrix stays alive. Hendrix stays alive. That resilient son of a bitch. Staying alive. Hendrix trying to crawl through the ropes. Trying to break this hold. Krunch wrenching it. Keeping it in control. Trying to wrench it. Hendrix gets to the ropes. Hendrix survives the Krunch face, and I thought Krunch was going to kill him. I thought Krunch was going to kill him. Both men out. Hendrix able to get the better of Krunch in that exchange with the enziguri, with the bicycle knee strike. Wait for that detonation kick. Krunch able to counter, wrenched in that Krunch face. Hendrix barely, just barely survived, almost passed out, but it was able to get to the ropes and break the count. Who is walking away champion in this contest? What a contest tonight. What a match. Krunch going for a big strike. Hendrix docks him. Turns him around. Going for another detonation kick. Krunch wiggling off. Krunch got him up. Fireman's carry. Another Prince Killer. No. Another Prince Killer. And will this do it? Cover. 1, 2, and 3. King Krunch. And still. You see here, Hendrix popped him with that detonation kick. I thought he finished it there, but Krunch survives by the skin of his teeth. Krunch was unable to rebound with a Prince Killer. I thought this was it. Hendrix able to survive by the skin of his teeth, but after a huge exchange, Hendrix lined up for that detonation kick. Krunch able to wiggle off the back, get him in the fireman's carry of his own, and a second Prince Killer puts Jackson Hendrix out for good. And you see it there. Hendrix down on the mat, the 3 count. Some things, the more they change, the more they stay the same. And things have stayed the same as King Krunch once again defeats Jackson Hendrix. Hendrix wanted to absolve the ghost of his past, wanted to right the wrong, wanted to beat the man that sent him down that path that he's hated himself for, and he comes up short as the King is still our WTW champion. You see the pain, the fatigue of Hendrix setting in, but even more so than that, the heartbreak. Jackson Hendrix comes up short. Jackson Hendrix gave it everything he had tonight, and he came up short. You see the heartbreak, and you got to feel for him. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time as we continue on the road to Doomsday. Thank you for joining us for Time Runs Out.